Hi all of you. Welcome to A Square Technologies. Today we'll be learning about aggregate function in SQL. This aggregate function performs a calculation on a set of values and returns a single value. That means it is going to take multiple values from multiple rows from a particular column and it is going to return single value whenever an aggregate function is applied on any particular column, then it is going to take multiple values from the multiple rows of that particular column and it is going to apply that aggregate function on that particular values and is going to return one single value for us. Okay, and the different types of aggregate functions we are having is count function, sum function, average function, minimum function and max function. And this is the syntax for the aggregate function we are having, how to apply the aggregate function. So what we are going to do is we are going to use the select keyword and we are going to give a aggregate function like this count, sum, average, min, max and all, on which particular column we are going to apply, that particular column name we need to give, and from the table name, from is a keyword and we need to give the username whichever we have used for the table name. Okay, so and finally we are going to terminate this query and you are going to execute it. These are some of the examples which we are having for the aggregate functions. Directly we will move on to the SQL and then check how actually these aggregate functions work. Okay, so here this is the SQL developer and here I am having the students table. This is my students table in which I am having different columns over here. One is the roll number column, student name. I have made it as yes name, age column, place column, total marks column, and I am having a grade column over here. And almost I am having 15 records over here. So, and this students table is under the user called as or database called as Sujit November 15 database connection. Okay, so let's see how actually the aggregate function works on this particular column. Okay, so since I'm having a different aggregate function known as sum, count, min, max, average and all this, first let me apply the sum function on this particular column called as total marks, for which I need to write the query as select sum. It is an aggregate function and I have to give a column name total marks. Okay, and from the table name I need to mention, and the table name is students. Okay, and terminate by using a semicolon. Now to execute a query we need to press Ctrl Enter. Okay, so when I press Ctrl Enter, this is the total marks, the one single value it is giving. How it is giving one single value? What it has done is it has added all the values from this total marks column and it is giving me the grand total over here 1144. Okay, so that means the sum, when I apply the sum function on the total marks column, it is taking the values from different rows, from all the rows in this total marks column. From this total marks column, it is taking the values of from that particular total marks column of all the records and it is adding these values and it is giving me the grand total over here. Okay, 1144. That means it is taking multiple values over here and it is returning one single value. Okay, so similarly what we are going to do is we are going to apply an average function on this particular column, total marks column, total marks. Okay, from students. Control Enter. So what it is giving me here is it is giving me 72.26 recurring decimal it is giving, and if I go here you can what it is doing is whatever total marks it is adding, the grand total we got, no, that for on that grand total will be divided by the number of students in this particular table, and the number of students we are having is 15. Okay, so that 1144 whatever we had got grand total, that has been divided by number 15, and the average marks, total marks what we got is 76.2666. So if we want to fix this decimal places, what we can do is we can use a cast function here. Cast, okay, after total marks we write down as decimal and open the bracket 10 comma 2. This is the precision and the number of decimal places what we want, that you need to mention over here. Okay, so when you apply this cast function on this particular function and mention that how many decimal places you want over here, that many to that many places the decimal values will get fixed. Now let's execute this particular thing now. So what it is giving is 76.27 is my average total marks. Okay. Now let me apply the minimum maximum on this total marks. Okay. Minimum function. Okay. Minimum on total marks from student. Okay, control enter. Okay, so what mistake we have done here? Select minimum from students. We have missed the students, the complete name. There should not be any spelling mistake while giving the table name. So we have to give a proper name over here. Just check it up and then you enter it. So what it is giving? The minimum marks scored by any student is 63. Okay, that is the least marks scored by any student in the table. Okay, similarly we can apply the maximum function. Okay, select max total marks from students, semicolon, control enter. So the maximum marks scored by any student is 90. Okay, so the student Avantika has scored marks, total marks 90, which is the highest mark among all the other students that we have got using the maximum function. Similarly, to check how many records are there in our how many students are there in our table, we can apply this particular function on any other means on roll number also, or on any column we can apply this. I am just applying it on yes name column, that is the student name, and let me check how many records are there. We are having 15 records here. So this minimum, maximum and count function, these three functions can be applied on the text data or on the numerical data. So what do you mean by the text data or numerical data? Text data means which contains the textual data, the character data. Here the yes name, place and grade column, they are having the character data or text data. Okay, so minimum, maximum and count function can be applied on any of these columns, but when it comes to this sum and average function, they can be applied only on the numerical columns. Okay, and only on numerical, because when you apply some function or average function on the textual data, it is meaningless. It can't simply add any names like that and give you any result. So what we will do, let's try to apply this minimum and maximum function on the text data, that is yes name. Okay, select minimum yes name from students, control enter. So Avantika is the minimum name what we have got, because when how it is choosing the minimum name is, it is going to arrange the names according in the lexical order, that is in a dictionary format. And Avantika, the name in our table, Avantika stands first over there, and that's why that particular value has been taken for minimum, as minimum value for yes name. Similarly, when it comes to maximum, when we apply this max function on S name, let's see what value we are going to get. Okay. Okay. So the last name, that is the Suraj name we have got. Okay, where is Suraj? Okay, here the Suraj is here. So that particular name, it has taken as the maximum name for when we apply max function. Okay, so similarly, we can apply this count function on roll number also. Select count function on roll number from student. Okay, here the bracket is missing. Syntaxes are very important when we write any when we execute any query. Okay, so here the count function got applied on the roll number also, and it is giving me the total count of the records in our particular table. So like this min max and count function can be applied on the text data as well as on the numerical data, but when it comes to sum function and average function, they can be applied on the numerical data only. You can't apply it on the text data. So this was the information about aggregate function. So let's meet in the next